so, even after talking about out of the maze, going back into an amazing life, I'm just so excited. We have an amazing guest here with us today, Mr. George Leigh with Vivant Solar.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, he has so much information to share with us. He's been sharing with us throughout our home buyers workshops and even with some of our training here with our agents here at United Real Estate Executives. And I said, you know what, I have got to have him on the show because there's so much information regarding solar. And we know we've heard about climate change and the different things, and even with technology that's been going on. And people want to know, the solar, what is solar all about? And so they've been afraid to make that move. They've been afraid to come out of the maze even regarding that.
Sure.
Even with that situation with energy, and I'm calling this segment to solar or not to solar. That is the question. So I know no better individual who was able to help us to make that determination than Mr. George Leigh with Vivant.
It's my pleasure.
So welcome to a wealthy place, George.
Listen, I'm honored to be here for sure.
Yeah. So George, first of all, tell us a little bit about solar. Why solar? What's going on?
Well, Brenda, one of the main reasons is you actually hit it on the head. It is climate change is one of the biggest ones. Mm-hmm. Supply and demand on how we're getting our energy is it's old, it's antiquated, and to be quite candid with you, the sun has an abundance of energy for us that's been in the past, present, and will be in the future.
Well, from the beginning, from the Genesis.
From the Genesis.
from the
Genesis, all the way to Revelation.
Right.
So it's just made sense for people to be able to start looking in, homeowners start looking in, business owners start looking into just sustainable energy at this point. And so one of the main things that I tell all of my clients is that, hey, it has tremendous benefits by going solar. So I know we'll get into that in a moment for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I'm finding, even within the real estate industry, especially in the real estate industry, that has become a question even with regarding the home purchasing.
True.
Houses that have the solar panels already on them, should we move forward with that? What are the ramifications for that? Mm-hmm. So one transaction that I recently someone I sat in, the buyer at the settlement table was having some questions about the solar panels because they transferred over, but they were leased. And he was kind of, disturbed that he wasn't able to pay them off. So can you talk a little bit about the leasing versus the purchasing and what that means?
Absolutely. So one of the main things, Brenda, I want people to be cognizant of is there's a leasing option with solar, and then there's an ownership option.
Okay.
And it sounds like your client that you had a leasing a plan, an option that they took part in buying that home. And so in certain contracts with certain solar companies, it does matter which solar company, number one, a homeowner goes with, but it also matters as that buyer is buying that home to make sure that they're looking at the contracts and what everything states and what's outlined in it. And so for your client in particular, that particular homeowner, when they're looking at the contract, they should be able to see, okay, am I able to, even though it's a leasing, is there an option to buy? Is there a clause that says it's an option to buy? Now, certain solar utility companies don't provide that option. Vivant Solar does, which makes purchasing and or exercising that option a lot better, but unfortunately there are some that are out there, and that new homeowner that's going in to buy that home will end up paying over time because they will constantly be renting. They will never have the opportunity to capture the ownership.
And that, I'm sure, that's one of the main reasons why they're looking to purchase a home.
Absolutely.
Because they want to get out of that leasing option. And now here I'm buying into a leasing option.
Right.
So that's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's and on the flip side of it, ownership, I tell all my clients, you're owning your home, but you're renting your power. So have the opportunity to really buy and own your own power. You know, those panels are on your roof for a reason, to provide clean energy, but also savings as well.
Okay.
And when we're talking about savings and talking about being in a wealthy place, when you think about your real estate, or you think about real estate in general, this is one of the main ways people become wealthy, is through real estate.
Absolutely.
And so you want to, as a buyer, be able to be cognizant of, number one, okay, is this going to add value to my home? And is this going to save me? And going solar through the ownership process definitely allows you to do both. So then you can take that money, put it in a mutual fund somewhere, and go ahead and make some more money on top of what you've been making before.
So what type of savings are we talking about?
So we're
kind of get. I know it's.
I know.
It's like, okay, when you say saving, what does that really?
What does that really mean? Everybody's talking about savings. So one of the main things that allows a homeowner to save through the ownership process, Brenda, is there are a bunch of incentives right now.
Okay.
One of them being the federal government. This is the last year the federal government here in 2019 will actually provide a 30% tax credit towards the cost of your system.
Oh, wow.
Next year in 2020, it goes down to 26% and so forth. It decreases. So that's a huge way that you'll be able to save money on your property, on the solar system, and buying it and owning it. Second way is through the state of Maryland here, actually provides a grant. So there are tons of incentives, but there's more. Right?
Oh, really? Okay, we like more.
Yeah, we like more. We like more.
Give us more.
So here in Baltimore County, provides a $5,000 property tax credit.
Oh my!
And depending on the county that you live here in Maryland, you'll be able to see different ones that actually give you more, maybe give you less or nothing at all. But we're fortunate here in Baltimore County to be able to give up to $5,000. So
there's nothing to sneeze.
That's right.
That'll make the sun shine a little bit brighter.
Like, I'll take that.
Right.
But Brenda, there's more.
Okay.
There's more.
Bring it on.
So just like owning a home, and you're paying monthly payments, right, towards the cost of that home, similar to what it would be for solar. You're paying a fixed cost, so you know predictably what your cost is going to be every month. However, every time you make that payment, that's one step closer to you owning even more of your own power and incurring more savings. So eventually, what a lot of my homeowners love is that you have an opportunity to get rid of the electricity cost altogether.
Now, see, that's not something that is common knowledge. Because when I first heard you say that in one of our seminars, I said, "Wait a minute, now, how was that possible? You mean I don't have to pay somebody?" Right. I'm not going to start naming companies.
Right.
But I've been paying for blankly blank years. I'm not going to tell my age either. But for decades, have been paying for decades. And like my mom, she's 90, so I know that they've been have ownership at least 60 years. Been paying. I don't have to pay that for the rest of my life.
That is correct.
I want to hear more.
That is correct. So now you have an opportunity on the savings part, but there's still more.
Oh my.
So you have an opportunity to make money now.
Okay.
From solar.
Wow.
So it's something called net metering, where the utility company will actually pay you, the homeowner. They will pay you for any excess electricity that comes off of your roof year after year. Yeah, I know you heard me say they will pay you instead of you paying them.
Okay, so when was the last time that they called you and told you that? They'll call you and tell you if you haven't paid them, but are they ringing up your phone saying, "Hey, we want to pay you"?
Absolutely.
Give us more.
Absolutely. And so then you have the state, and every state varies, but here in Maryland, you have the state of Maryland that will pay you for any clean energy that comes off of your roof. It's called Solar Renewable Energy Credits.
Okay.
And so with that being said, depending on how much electricity is generated by your home, will be contingent upon how much money you make every month and every year.
Give us an example, just a little piece.
So you have a typical home here in Maryland may warrant a 5 kilowatt system. What that basically means is that home generates from that system 5,000 kilowatts of electricity.
Okay.
So those 5,000 kilowatts of electricity in layman's terms, equals out to 5 certificates.
Okay.
Okay? Right now, the going rate for those certificates are about $70. Okay?
Okay.
So 7 times 5, we can do the math on that. It's $350 that you have extra every year.
Wow. I mean, that would be 1 month of bill.
Absolutely.
Right.
But there's more.
Okay.
So because there are new laws that have changed, back in the day, they used to be about $250 or so.
Wow.
And depending on the state you live
Right.
in, it's more. But it's on that way. It's back towards that direction on that incline. So if you can imagine making $200 per certificate, now you got 200 times 5. It's $1,000.
Wow.
So
I don't know who would say no to that, but
I don't know.
the key would be sooner than later.
Sooner than later.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because a lot of these programs are not guaranteed to be around. As I mentioned, the federal tax credit will be taking a slide every year. We don't know how long the grants will be around, and then property tax credits. There's already a waiting list because as you can imagine, people
Right.
that understand the program, they want to be involved.
Right. Right, which makes sense. Well, I'm sure just some of you have watching right now. It's like, okay, I want more information. I need more information. I've been trying to understand and didn't quite understand. Okay, now we know the leasing versus the buying. How can I get started, or how can I find out more information for my specific situation? Is it just for single-family homes? Is it for townhouses? Is it for areas? What type of information can you give them to be able to contact you?
That's a great point and great question, Brenda. So you can actually reach out to me. My name is George Lee. Again, I can be reached at 410-513-9590, or you can send me an email at george.lee@vivantsolar.com. What I will do for you is sit down with you, evaluate your home, actually provide a 3D design that will be able to determine, do you get enough sun? There's also some other elements of qualification, but I'll be able to explain all of those to you in greater detail.
Fantastic. Number one more time for us, George.
Yes, ma'am. 410-513-9590.
Didn't I tell you he was amazing? And was willing to help you with your wealthy place as far as your solar. So we want to thank you again, George. Thanks for just coming out and sharing with us this wonderful information. You know that our motto is inspiration, motivation, empowerment, and education. And you definitely have shared the empowerment and the education portion with us. So we just thank you again so much and wish you continued success.
Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate the opportunity, for sure.